Hello everyone, welcome back again today to Silver Tears Tarot. So I got up and I did my thank you reading and I edited it and I put it in there, and then after everything I got a load of the emails that had been coming in. So I didn't read my emails first. And I will say it was emails, it was communications from social media and different places. But basically, what I will say is there are several of you who reached out to your person in the last 24 hours and are now wondering if it was a mistake. So we're going to get in. We know that the energy is changing and just really kind of flopping all around, flipping all around based on that thank you reading that we just saw. If you saw that one, and even in the extended, you see that it kind of continues to always be evolving throughout the reading. It does feel like we're riding a little bit of a wave of that today. But let's ask the question directly. Let's find out what happened, like what the impact was of your contact, if you are one of those people who did reach out to contact your person. So I know there was a little bit of a feeling of panic in that, in some of those notes that I received. And so let's kind of find out what's happening there. I don't get the sense that there's a need for panic, but it may have constituted a setback, and we'll find out. So let's figure out, first off, we already kind of know what the energy is like today. We've gotten the emotional backdrop. Let's see what the overall impact of your communication with them was, or kind of this could be some of you. I almost don't want to say this, but some of you who have been feeling very strongly about reaching out may already be generating this type of energy. Okay, so there's an energy of realizing where the edges are on the healing, getting a little bit concerned. It says worry on the bottom of the card. It feels more like something's unresolved and up in the air, which, as we know, matches pretty well with the energy of this day. So it's got them a little discombobulated. Don't know yet if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Showing the edges of the healing also, I think, is helpful to know, because basically that is what have they healed, what haven't they healed, and now what's their next step on that. So here with the Six of Wands, it makes them feel like they're a little bit overwhelmed and kind of still in the throes of some kind of battle. It's really just kind of the overall situation. They're disappointed in themselves, and they're somewhat disappointed in their position in the situation because they don't feel like they even know how to make a proper answer. So for those of you who haven't heard back and you're wondering if you've messed it up, they're sitting there trying to figure out what to do next. This is a Four of Cups. That is a Four of Cups of numbness, and it's disappointment, but it's more disappointment in not having a response and not knowing what to do. They're realizing how deeply invested they truly are, emotionally, in a place that they typically, it's like something they can't quite get to, but they can feel it, and it's very frustrating because it's bringing some things back. This is part of, it creates a little bit of an anxiety for them, I think. But it's because they're remembering a pain that comes before. And the thing is, I think it comes before even you. So it's bringing them into, it's part of the reason that that your person may be reeling from this shifting mood, and that you may also be reeling from this shifting mood. We've got the Page of Pentacles for a lesson not completely yet learned. That's not really new information, but this could be, again, we said it was showing them the edges of what they've healed and what they haven't healed. And this is going to be with regard to their own fear of rejection and abandonment. And betrayal. They're big three fears. They've got some things they haven't learned there, and this is like the timing, the way that it hit them, it hits them especially hard because of the timing. And so kind of there's a lot of extra energy kind of flowing between the two of you right now. I just dropped a bunch of cards. Okay. Let's see here. So we've got the Three of Swords. This feels like that Ten of Swords a little bit with the past pain, only this is them feeling it in the now. So it isn't that you reaching out caused pain, but it is causing them to access some pain. Again, I'm not convinced that's a bad thing. I think it ultimately leads to healing. But right now, I kind of just see them railing against it and trying to get away from feeling it, trying to get away from thinking about it, almost to their detriment. Like, this is the energy of that person who would cut their leg off to get out of a trap. And this is, I refuse to speak, or I refuse to, and it could be them refusing to speak. So if you're not receiving an answer, okay, so the impact of it feels like it threw them off their game a little bit. It's already kind of an intense swirling energy, and so that's part of what's impacting this. This feels very temporary to me, but they are surprised, not sure. I wouldn't take much that this person says right now very seriously. Like, it's not being thought through. There's a thrashing sort of energy and a lashing out sort of energy that comes in with it. So that's kind of what's happening with their response to being contacted. But let's see. So it feels like it's a little bit of a setback with this. It doesn't feel like it's permanent damage, but let's find out what kind of more ultimately, what will this roll into, or what does it seem like it will roll into? We can't ever tell what people are going to do with their free will, but we've got an immediate response here of being worried and discombobulated and clamming up and saying, oh, you can't get an answer out of me no matter what. And so even if they're responding, they're doing so in kind of this tight-lipped sort of way, I guess I want to say. Don't panic. I'm pretty sure this is temporary, but let's go ahead and take a look here. And what does it look like it turns into? What does it look like it rolls into? What is this? What is next? What does it seem like this energy points you at? Because it does seem like this energy is pointing you in a direction. And I don't know, I felt like I needed to use this deck today. It's got this sort of not really a representation of the tube on the back. It's kind of an interesting, it looks a little bit like a tube map out of the corner of your eye, you know. So we've got the Knight of Wands in the reverse. This is them being stimulated to more of that in and out behavior, more of that lack of healing. They haven't had the healing yet. So it constitutes a setback. Again, it doesn't feel like it's permanent. No, you didn't mess it up permanently. It's not more messed up than it was before. You're just kind of seeing the maybe a little bit of the difficult part of their healing process, a little bit part of it's kind of like it's almost in some cases like an ugly part of their healing process that they would never want anybody to see. But if you talk to them right now, you may get them lashing out, you know, and that's kind of what's in this energy. And I know one of you, I guess arguably two of you, could say I've already experienced this a little bit. The King of Pentacles here, they feel totally legit in this, and they're not budging. But this, again, this is something that is an overall result of the energies that have been around them, and especially what's happening today with the constant shifting. They're feeling buffeted and like agitated by it, and it's bothering them. It's bringing out something that feels like a narcissistic tendency. It's a narcissistic tendency, but it's also like, hold on, stop everything, you know. It's very much, I want control of this situation and I feel entitled to have it. Then there's the Hermit card in the reverse, because their healing isn't done. This isn't how they would handle this if it was an enlightened version of themselves. Yeah, this is temporary, but you might be catching them at a bad time. Again, it presents a setback, but not a significant one. And I have a visitor. I'm going to go close the door. Sorry for the break. I don't want to lose my flow. When the dog pushes her way in here, I like to go ahead and close the door so it's closed and signals to others that I'm unavailable. but I also like to make sure she's in here because she's less noisy. So we have the Eight of Swords. This is like that Nine of Swords. It's like they're doing this and they're not even feeling bad about it. Oh, but they will. You know, it's got this. I can see the other shoe about to drop, but for whatever reason, like they're not living in a world where they have to handle the repercussions or deal with the repercussions of their behaviors and actions in the same way. I mean, oh, I thought we had one. Yeah, this really is. I'm sorry you have to see them like this. Here's the High Priestess. There are truths and downloads coming to them. They don't want that. They don't want the new truths that are coming because they are not consistent with what they would like to have happen. They would like to be in control. At this point, they're like, you know what? Just wipe everything clean. I need a clean slate. I don't want to have to worry about anything. Don't want to have concerns, but this contact reminds them of what they're afraid of. And it's not you. It's the complexities that surround you. And let me pick that card up here. See how it landed. Okay, it's a couple cards, and they landed face down. We won't take them. Wow, there goes another one, but we are taking this one. All right, I could see it from there. Judgment. Oh, and we're done. All right, so yes, I was just saying that it's like they feel like if they feel like they're just not even going to deal with it, they want to be able to strong arm reality into being what it is. They don't want to have to. They're tired of this. They're tired of this. They're feeling frustrated, disappointed with themselves, and this is when when they realize, oh my goodness, I've got to look at the big picture, and that's going to turn things around for them. So you have set something into motion by reaching out to this person. It is going to be more healing, but that's the direction that ultimately it needed to go anyway. It's kind of pushing them over this narcissistic hump a little bit, but I wouldn't promise you that we wouldn't continue to see that sort of behavior coming from them, because it looks like you push them over the hump, but they also do some of that in and out behavior. It still looks like they very much want to be in control of the situation and feel entitled to that control. Okay, let's look to see what you do next. What is your advice in this situation? The first thing I would say is, based on all this, don't panic. It's going to pass. You're catching them at a bad time. If they lash out to you, there's probably going to be an apology coming in the future, but it may be far enough off in the future that you have already kind of found closure on this, whatever their response has been. You are encouraged to, you know what? Go and do something different today. This isn't necessarily a huge... Let me try and explain. So this is this guy standing on this rooftop, and it looks like he's considering jumping off. But this is not somebody considering jumping off into the unknown like the Fool usually represents, where they're willing to try something completely new, jumping off into a new journey. This is a parkour master who knows exactly where he's going when he steps off that roof. However, only because it's in the near term. So it's not a well thought out path. This is, if you've got something in front of you today, you've got an opportunity to go out with somebody, to go out for coffee, to go into the office rather than stay at home, whatever it looks like for you, go do it. That's what this is about. Go ahead, reorient yourself, focus on something a little bit different. Don't jump into the stupid thing. Okay. So you're being hunted by this stupid thing. There's something that wants, there's something that it feels kind of tempting that you, somebody wants you to do it. It's not like reaching out to your person where it's an inner struggle. This is a much more external struggle. Somebody wants you to do something and you know right away that it's kind of not the right path. Stay off of that path. That's not what we mean when we say to go with the Fool card. This isn't bad idea time, but you will potentially have some bad ideas given to you or presented. Page of Wands says this is curiosity. This is basically reinforcing that original Fool card, to say, you know, get out and do something awesome. And I love this. It's like, get out and do something gutsy and new today, but not anything that, not the thing that seems obvious, like you shouldn't do it. This isn't go for broke and just jump into any old stream of energy, because you're still going to have to ride it out. Whatever happens on the other side of it will still apply to you. So you're going to a place where, and this is why you want to go to this place of quietude, but you have to be able to kind of, it's like the endorphins that come out after you work out. You have to do the workout here in order to feel the endorphins, but the endorphin time is going to give you a chance to kind of go back over what's happened here. Go ahead and think about this. Think about the impact as it relates to you and your situation, and you're going to realize, okay, so this person isn't ready to hear from me. They're unhealed. Technically, both of you could handle probably a little bit more healing. It's okay if you go into a little bit of thinking about the past and about thinking about things that have happened at this time. It sounds like it's kind of, or it feels like it's kind of a reasonable path to go down. And it's part of what's going to ultimately heal you and bring you back toward being able to have a successful give and take relationship, because right now there's a little bit of emotional healing needed on your part based on how this person has treated you. You know, it's like you gave them the gift of your heart and they were not kind with it. Ultimately, they were not careful with it. They were careless with something that was ultimately very fragile. Your job is to make it a little less fragile by shining a lot more light through it, but that's not easy. And this day, this experience, as discombobulating as it is and discomforting as it is actually going to head you in a better direction. It's going to help you to bring out some of that healing that ultimately you need to bring out anyway. So it's a little bit more near term, the healing that comes out for you, than the judgment and ultimately the healing that comes out for them. But if you really wanted to look at it and say, what's the ultimate result of this? You're doing something, you've done something that is positive, but the timing of it makes it really painful in the near term. So I wouldn't recommend, if you haven't reached out to your person, oh, hey, you could go stimulate some healing by reaching out. Like, it won't be fun. These people didn't write into me because they enjoyed the experience they were having. It was that I'm very concerned that I've done damage to my relationship, maybe even permanently. Have I messed this up? So here's your chance to, as the energy starts to calm down around you, and hopefully it does a little bit with this reading. If you're feeling what I'm feeling, if you're able to pick up on any of this, then don't panic. It's going to be fine. Your healing is going to come a little bit more quickly than theirs, but ultimately, no, you haven't messed things up permanently. And so with this Two of Pentacles, it's also a sense of balance that's coming your way, and likely to happen here for you in the near term. So that's where I would leave you with this soulmate snapshot. Thank you for sending the emails. I'm sorry I didn't get to them earlier, but honestly, I'm glad it went the way that it did, so that with the thank you video, we were able to see all of that churning energy, and that's kind of a bit of a backdrop for us as we look at this question. So this has been a soulmate snapshot, so there's no extended on this one. This is just jumping in and asking those questions that come up sometimes, that, you know, maybe just need a quick answer. So thank you so much for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.